Alright, in this video we're going to learn how to distribute and combine like terms. So we learned how to distribute, we've learned how to combine like terms, now we're going to combine the two. Okay? If you need time pause, you need a calculator. There we go. Alright, steps. The steps are very easy. The first thing you're going to do is that if at all possible, you're going to distribute. Okay? So if it's possible, you are going to distribute, which for example, we're not going to do right now. But if you remember the little lines that we drew, that stuff, you're going to distribute. The second thing you're going to do is you're going to combine like terms, ironically enough. Combine like terms. That's the second thing you're going to do. Okay, so you're going to distribute first, then combine the like terms. So let's go ahead and go with the first example. So number one, write it down. If you need time, pause it. If not, we're going to go ahead and move on. We have a lot of stuff going on here, but step by step, this is actually very easy. Remember the steps. The first thing we're going to do is distribute. And when you distribute, side by side means multiplied. So we're going to multiply. 3 times a positive 2 is a positive 6, and the x comes down. 3 times a positive 3 is a positive 9. Okay, we distributed. Okay, that should be really easy. And then we're just going to rewrite the plus 4x here. You don't have to, but just know that's step 1. Okay, we distributed. Step 2 is we combine anything that looks alike. Well, this is 6x, and this is plus 4x. So we're going to combine them. So 6 plus 4 is 10x. And I can't combine this 9 with anything. It's the only other number. So since it's plus 9, I'm just going to put plus 9. And that is it. So I distributed, and then I combine like terms. That's all I'm doing. So instead of doing just a one-step process, we're doing 2. Okay? Let's look at another one. So number 2, go ahead and write this down, please. Pause it if you need to. If not, we're going to go ahead and go. So I have distribution, this right here. This negative 2 is right outside. So I'm going to distribute that negative 2. Since I'm not doing anything with the 7, I'm just going to rewrite it down here. Okay? And there's no number here, so that's 1, right? Side by side means multiplied. So negative 2 times 1, if you don't know in your calculator. Negative 2 times 1 is a negative 2. So you're just going to put negative 2, and the n comes down. And then do negative 2 times a positive 4. So negative 2 times a positive 4 is a negative 8. So put minus 8. Okay? Now there's an n here. There's no other n's, but I do just have regular numbers. 7 minus 8. Now I'm going to go ahead and write the n first because we tend to write the letter in the beginning, minus 2n, but it really doesn't matter. Okay? 7 minus 8. Go to the calculator. We do here 7 minus 8, and we end up with a negative 1. So negative 1. Okay? Now, if you did that first, and you did negative 1, and then you put minus 2n, both of these are correct. Math people will tend to do this because the letter's in front, but both of these are acceptable and would give you 100. Okay? If that's really confusing, pause it, let me come talk to you, because I don't want you to be lost. Alright, number 3. This is where you're going to kind of start seeing an algebra class. Go ahead and write it down. Pause if you need to. Make sure you write number 3 next to it. We have 2 things of distribution here. And remember, the first steps are to distribute. So I'm going to go ahead and just write my distribution lines on both of them. Remember, pause if you need to write them down. Okay? There's no number here, so I put a 1. 2 times 1 is 2, and the x comes down. 2 times 5 is 10. Positive 10. Okay? 4 times 2 is a positive 8, so I'm going to put plus 8. There's no letter, so I don't write a letter. And 4 times 3 is a positive 12, and the x comes down. I know that looks like a lot, but all I've done is multiplied. That's all I've done, just basic multiplication. And then I combine what looks alike. This is an x, and this is an x, so I'm going to combine them. 2 plus 12, you can use your calculator, but that's just 14. So 14x. Okay? And then this 10 and this 8 are just regular numbers. We're going to combine them. positive 10 plus 8. You could use your calculator, but it's just a positive 18. So plus 18. Okay? And then combine it. The reason we do this in math is because this looks very difficult, but we can basically get it down to something that's much simpler to deal with. Alright, last problem. Pause, write it down, let me know when you're ready. Or not let me know, just play it when you're ready. Same thing, we have two sets of distribution here. And I'd go ahead and put a star by this. This with a negative in the middle, you're going to see a lot. Because they're going to try to trick you. And they're going to trick you with this negative to make sure you know what you're doing. So let's just put a little star by this. I'm going to go ahead and draw my distribution lines. Like I've been doing. But there's no number here. And remember that if there is no number, the number is 1. And then I draw my distribution line. Okay? All I'm going to do is multiply. Yeah, there's no number here as well, so I'll do a 1. 8 times 1 is 8. And then I write my W. 8 times a positive 1 is positive 8. Okay? Negative 1 times 2, if you don't know, we'll do it here. Negative 1 times 2 is a negative 2. So I'm going to go ahead and put minus 2W, like that. And then negative 1 times negative 3. So negative 1 times negative 3 is a positive 3, plus 3. Okay, so remember, since it's positive 3, you're going to put plus 3 there. Alright, so now we have W's here. So I'm going to combine my W's. 8 minus 2, you should just know is 6, so 6W. And then positive 8 plus 3, so I'm going to go with those. 8 plus 3, put in the calculator if you need to, but if not, it's 11, a positive 11. So you just put plus 11. And then you box it up. I need to see this work on your paper. If you're going straight from here to here, I'm not going to be happy. I need to be able to see the process. That way if you're getting something wrong, I can see where you're thinking wrong. Make sure you show your work.